This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
You are. Happy Valentine's Day!
Yeah.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's also Friday, February 14th.
Yes,
I'm here with Brandon and Lindsay, and I'm Tori. Al has the morning off. Let's get right
One
to...
second, please.
Excuse me.
Second.
I like your pink blazer.
Thank you. It's in the words of Jay-Z, it's not pink, it's mauve.
Oh, Lord.
But listen, happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
Oh, my
Happy
goodness!
Valentine's
I am such a sucker for this. I'm like, oh my God.
And it's not fake.
No, it's not.
Brandon,
It's a rose scent that I sprayed on.
Wow. That's really sweet.
So
Let's put it like here, like The Bachelor.
That was totally different for you.
That was great.
Glad you ladies
Valentine's
accepted
Day.
my rose.
Thank you very much. Well, you know what today is? It's Valentine's Day. We want to wish everyone a happy, special day. Here's to love and all things pink and red and flowers. Thank you, Brandon. But you know who's not feeling the love? The president. He's currently in a couple of Twitter feuds, one with his very own Attorney General, William Barr, who's usually loyal. Barr told ABC News yesterday, right to tweet. But that's not the only feud for Mr. Trump. He's also battling it out with the billionaire Michael Bloomberg. I'm working on my reenactment, who's running for president. Trump started it with this tweet reading, quote, "Mini Mike Bloomberg is a loser who has money but can't debate and has zero presence, you will see." Bloomberg hit back tweeting, "Trump, we know many of the same people in New York. Behind your back, they laugh at you and call you a carnival barking clown." This is interesting because right now in the New York Times, there's also an article about Bloomberg seems to be the only one sort of fighting fire with fire and knowing that just getting in the conversation for this particular time in our social climate is important. He also, if you didn't know, took over all these influencers yesterday, and all over my feed were funny memes from Mike Bloomberg's campaign, right? So what I've said from the beginning is there's no digital content anyone else is coming up with. Good idea, bad idea?
I mean, the petty back and forth on Twitter is expected, right? Trump is the social media president. The fact that Bloomberg's jumping on board, like I'm fighting fire with fire, is interesting because now we're seeing somebody who has the same amount of money, if not more, like he says, and then also that same kind of attitude that he's going to show you that on the debate stage I can do this and double down. I think people are wondering that. I'm wondering why Bloomberg hired, a promoter basically of that failed Fire Festival. He hired them to do all his social media. Now we all know the Fire Festival was Ja Rule's disaster, and the promotion for that was trash. Like they gave, actually oversold what we gave. So to hire him is kind of crazy.
Or brilliant because it oversold it.
I understand people love the back and forth. They love the pettiness, but this still does nothing for me because Bloomberg, you still have questions that need to be answered. You know what I'm saying? Over 600,000 people were stopped in since 2011 for stop and frisk. Over 88% of that was deemed innocent. So one thing he also said in those audio tapes, when it comes to urban crime fighting, you need to spend money. Well, guess what, Mr. Bloomberg? When it comes to urban development, you need to spend money as well. So I want to, if you got money to hire Ja Rule or whatever Rule or Fry Festival, you got money to make a right and to build up some of these urban cities on these lives that you destroyed.
Very well said. Stop and frisk continues to be an issue, but I like the digital component. I like fighting fire with fire. Let's see what happens. Write us in on Facebook and YouTube. Well, getting back to all things love, this year Americans will spend a whopping $27.4 billion on the holiday, which is a new record, but as many as 49% of Americans will not participate in the holiday, according to one survey, which has us asking, do you think Valentine's Day is a festive holiday where we can celebrate the eternal bonds of love and devotion that we feel for our partners, or is this a made-up holiday meant to bilk Americans out of billions to please corporate overlords? Valentine's Day, hate it or love it? So go to dblvote.com and give us your take.
I think I speak for most men when we say we hate it.
What?
Because a lot of men feel as though, why does it have to be that one day? That you have 365 days to show your companion that you love her, or in some cases him as well, and that you could do something special. Why does it have to be this one commercialized day for someone to express their love?
The same reason why we celebrate Christmas or anything else on a specific day. Like, my favorite movie is The Notebook. Colin, my boyfriend, understands that. He wrote me a handwritten note yesterday. It don't have to cost you $1 million, but you need to celebrate it, okay? Our boss told us he's going to dinner this weekend. Our other boss told us he's going to dinner this weekend. You need to cooperate and take somebody to dinner.
That costs $1 million. Where they want to go to dinner costs $1 million. Guys are spending a lot of money.
You
just
need to save your money. You spend more on bets of who can shoot the paper in the basketball bin, so you can spend money on dinner.
Is this behind the scenes with DBL right now?
I'm loving it.
Tori, Valentine's Day, how do you feel about it?
It's one day. Of course I love it. That's what holidays are. They're one day. That's the whole definition. It's just one. I'm for it.
All right.
But women and men in not heteronormative situations, everybody should do things for each other, not just men or women.
But just remember, ladies, if he doesn't post you on his social media, that ain't it.
It's not real. The vote we have is 77% love it and 23%.
That's because they don't have to pick up the tab for the bill.
That's not true. You don't know that. All right, well, talk about the worst first date ever. Let me paint a picture. A woman met a man on a dating app. She then goes to pick him up. After driving for a bit, he asks her to pull over at this bank. Kind of normal. After leaving her alone for a few minutes in her car, he comes running out of the bank sweating with sunglasses, a hat, a gun, and $1,000 in cash in hand, according to the woman. He then tells her to floor it, essentially making her the getaway driver in his bank heist. The woman said she obeyed at first, but after seeing sirens, she pulled over and exited the car. He got 5 years, she got a good story and a hard lesson in online dating.
The funniest part of the story is that when he came running out of the bank, he had sunglasses, a hat, and $1,000 in his hand. Like, what?
And a wig.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What would you honestly do if you were in that situation? You all of a sudden you're like, oh, is that him? Oh, is that a gun? Oh, is that money?
Well, she was in his passenger side, wasn't she?
She was driving.
And so, this story is just so weird. She also was chugging wine and didn't get arrested for that or charged for that because she didn't know she was ever going to be driving the car when she got picked up. So it's just a long, drawn-out story, but I would just run away.
I might have just taken the keys and thrown them, right?
Well, women are so confusing.
Okay, you're right.
You're so confusing. You want spontaneity. You want that Bonnie and Clyde lifestyle, that love, companionship.
This is
now she had a chance to do Bonnie and Clyde.
You're embarrassing yourself.
No.
We want danger like ripped bodices, not like a bank heist.
Hey, our producers, can we set this up where I take this woman on a date? Can we do that? It sweeps? No? Okay, never mind.
All right, that went well. You have got to see one man's out of this world proposal.
I hope it's better than the one I did.
It's got to be way better than that. And I got to be honest, I thought this was lame until I saw it. Okay, he set up a weather balloon with a camera with a video of the engagement ring. He then sent it into the edges of the atmosphere, 90,000 feet above the earth, before the balloon bursts and the ring comes tumbling down. The couple finds the popped weather balloon in a cornfield, and that's when he gets down on one knee. She sees the ring, and the rest is history. Here's the deal. People are very upset. That was a fake ring in case something went wrong. He had the real ring in the thing.
This dude is a real mathematician. How does he know? But that takes a lot of planning. That takes a lot of skill set because you have to know if it goes up in the air where it's going to fall.
It's called a tracker, dude. A GPS tracker.
No, it went up into the
I saw it.
universe.
I saw that. It came down. He has a GPS tracker.
Yeah, but what are you, like, on foot chasing that thing?
But what if it ended up in Afghanistan somewhere?
It's not going to. It's a weather balloon.
Hey, kudos to that guy.
Well, yeah, bravo and mazel tov on this beautiful day. DBL is live and coming up, the secrets to everlasting love from the people who know. We're talking with 4 couples who've been married for decades. And next, this is so fascinating. Lindsay sits down with her childhood friend and LA Laker, Danny Green. Now he's honoring Kobe Bryant when we come back.
This February, ask the one you love to be mine and get away to a Sandals Resorts luxury-included Caribbean vacation. Watch Daily Blast Live every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night romantic escape for 2. The winner will be announced on DBL February 26th. What better way to say, be mine?
Look at this!
Man, Valentine's Day is so.
Lindsay, look what I got.
What you got one too?
Oh, were you trying to make me jealous?
Where do you think I got these from?
I thought my boss gave me a rose, but everyone got a rose. No,
I
is
got
that where you got
What do
this?
you think it was? Kelly and Rosalind's.
Where'd this one come from?
Oh, on the show,
That's
Brandon gave it
Kelly's.
to the ladies.
I gave it to you.
This is me being coy.
I'm channeling my inner Bert DeBrow. Oh my God.
Yeah, because people are going to think he's my Valentine.
Oh, I thought I was on camera, but I'm not.
Still being authentic. Remember that? That we're authentic. You take my roses and give it.
Yeah, that was a scam.
That's good TV.
So look, guys, it turns
That's
out
good TV.
Brandon didn't even buy us these roses.
No, he didn't.
Our
Mark
boss
plucked them.
did.
Hey,
And
you
he
guys
took
want to hear
them
a
out
good
of his
quote
hand.
on what the difference is between liking someone and loving someone?
Tell me.
When you like a flower, you pluck it. And when you love a flower, you water.
Why do you have to say it like that? Pluck it.
Because you have to be
Why does it have to be like that?
Just say it like that.
So can you give us a little bit about what's about to go down?
Is anyone else really warm?
Yeah, I interviewed my friend, Danny Green. We grew up in the same town. He lived on the next block. He plays for the Lakers, and you guys are about to see the emotional interview. I wanted to talk to him about what happened, how all the Lakers found out. He's going to go into detail about that plane ride that they were on when they all found out. So it's pretty crazy, and I hope you guys are tuned in.
Is it the intro? Yeah, it's part of the intro.
That was cute. Gloria, I can't breathe. I have on a squeam.
Lindsay, we're gonna get a tape out of this one?
Don't jinx me, Joe Kwan. Go for Joe Kwan. Joe Kwan is my code word for like things working out. Don't ask why, I'm not getting into that right
The
now.
planets are aligned, Joe.
45.30.
Did you guys go to high school together?
Every school, elementary, middle. Oh, he left to go to private school for high school.
He's in Long Island.
Yeah, and we stood next to each other because Green Ranger. You know, like always, no matter picture day, whatever.
What high school?
North Bath. Oh, he went to St. Joseph's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in Long Island. So I went to North Bath.
Stand by, here we go.
Four, three, two.
Welcome back to DBL. We're getting more details about Kobe and Gigi Bryant's memorial, which will be held at the Staples Center later this month on 2/24, a date that represents their jersey numbers. The memorial is expected to be televised, and according to TMZ, the ticket prices might be $24.02. It's believed the proceeds will go to a charity selected by the family. Kobe and Gigi's deaths have truly rocked the world, especially those within Lakers Nation. I recently sat down with my childhood friend and Lakers player, Danny Green, to hear how Kobe's death really affected the team. Danny, what's up?
How you doing? Everything good?
Yeah, good to see you.
Long time.
You and I haven't really caught up and had a long conversation since Kobe passed. So I first want to ask how you're doing.
I'm doing okay. You know, it took a little while. When it first hit, it was hard to believe, more so than anybody. It was a shock, and nobody wanted to believe it. And I realized, even though I've met him and I had a brief relationship with him, I realized how close other guys were with him. And it's something that, you know, you'll never fully kind of get over.
Can you walk me through what happened when you guys found out? Like, where was everybody?
We were on the plane, and I was half asleep. We had just left Philly, and Coach Vogel wakes me up, and he's like, you know, Kobe and his daughter just passed away in a helicopter accident. And I'm half asleep, still trying to process what's going on. And I see everybody around the plane, and they're all sad, and you know, somebody's in the bathroom crying, Bron's over here crying. And when we landed, I said, each minute by minute, it became more real, and the harder it hit for everybody around us in the organization.
That's insane. You guys are all on the plane. I can't imagine finding out at once and trying to deal with that, all that emotion.
I said each minute it became more real. As we're walking out, everybody's just very emotional, and we're trying to figure out what's the next move, what happens now. And they're like, you know what, we're gonna postpone tomorrow, we're gonna postpone the game, and you know that was the right move. And figure out how to handle things, you know, accordingly. Give guys a couple days to grieve. People were just trying to get home to their families and hold their loved ones close.
And that's the good part about it. I've been seeing that people have been hugging, like you said, holding their family closer. But for me, working in media and being a journalist, the bad part has been how the media handled this. And I know I went viral because of how upset I got. I went off about it. We need to do better altogether as journalists. And I look at this woman and I say it was your responsibility just to do better and give it more time than 2 hours after the man passes away to say what you think about him if it's negative. What do you feel being so closely involved?
When it comes to the negative stuff about a person that I know or care about, I kind of just, ignore it, flush it, throw it away. When you ignore that information or that negative, energy and keep it under wraps and not let it be passed around, I think it kind of just dies and nobody focuses on that part of it. They focus on the positive part of Kobe and Gigi and what he brought to this earth. But we've been through the social media area for long enough to know that there's going to be some negative content coming out. And he's made some mistakes, regardless of the mistakes or not. I think he's, done so much good in this world.
Now you have some championships under your belt.
A couple.
And now you play for the Lakers.
I've been lucky.
But is there pressure? You guys are the #1 seed in the Western Conference, and now that Kobe has passed, is there even more pressure to win this thing?
I don't think with the passing of Kobe and Gigi had anything to do with the pressure. I think it was still the same. Obviously now it would be more meaningful, and I'm sure there's some added pressure, but being in LA regardless, that's more than enough pressure. Playing for the Lakers organization is enough pressure. This thing is bigger than basketball, and it would be nice to win for many other reasons, not just because of Kobe and Gigi, but because of the city of Los Angeles. I feel like it really needs it, and probably the world.
Thanks so much for sitting down with me, Danny. We're rooting for you. We'll be right back.
February is Black History Month, and DBL is honoring Black leaders who paved a way for future generations of Americans. Today, we honor Tarana Burke. As a civil rights activist, she founded the Me Too movement in 2006. The viral hashtag raised awareness about sexual harassment and abuse, allowing victims to share their stories of sexual assault. Currently, she serves as a senior director at the Girls for Gender Equality Foundation.
What's going on, you guys? So wasn't that incredible, Lindsay? Anyone who has a close perspective to someone that's well known, it's always so fascinating to hear. I can't imagine being a LA Laker and hearing that Kobe Bryant died. That's like, I can't, and you're in the airplane. I don't know how that happens. He gave Lindsay and Rose at the beginning of the show. Oh, people are asking what happened at the beginning of the show. Brandon, we thought, gave us these roses. It turns out he stole them from our bosses and gave it to us, pretending that he had purchased them.
Crazy.
So that makes it almost like
Where'd my rose go?
Oh, you want it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where mine went either.
Did you steal mine?
No, I didn't. Okay, I'm not a flower person. You?
I am. I dream of getting kaleidoscope roses, but no one will buy them for me. I buy them for everybody. Whenever anything happens, I
Those
send
the ones
them.
that are like all...
They're rainbow color roses.
Yeah,
and
I don't... They're gonna die.
Yeah, but it's the principality.
I don't know. You
if that
spend
makes
like
sense.
$25 on them, yo, and then it's like you got them for a couple days. This one?
Yeah.
No. Ow.
Owns a fake plant store.
Oh, really?
They're like always like, those would be dead.
Yeah, it's like so annoying. So I'm not a flower person, but if you are a flower person, please let me know. And if you're not, please let me know. So, and what are your? I like the tulip. However, a delicate flower often loses its petals. Peonies are gorgeous. When I moved into my home, I didn't know this, but the previous person had grown peonies, and all of a sudden in springtime I go, oh, and they're pink with white in the middle. So I'm gonna have a peony party, and everyone has to come in pink. Peonies are super specific. There's 9 of them. That's all I have.
Up to the light.
360 with LifeLock. Call 1-800-495-8730.
Stand by.
Visit lifelock.com/mypromo. Use promo code MyPromo to save 25% off your first year and get a free shredder with annual membership. Call now.
Welcome back to DBL. It's Valentine's Day and we're spreading the love. We talk with 4 couples who have been married for decades and they shared their secrets for everlasting love. Take a look.
I'll let Dee answer that.
Why don't you start?
Well, we met at the University of Denver, and we met in January of 1951. And I said, can I see you tomorrow night? And she said, no, I'm busy. I said, well, can I see you Saturday night? Well, I'm busy that night too. And I said to myself, she's kissing me off. But she pops up and says, but I can see you Sunday afternoon.
So we did. I just knew the first date that Don was the one.
So I used to jump my back fence and go ice skating in the projects. I met this young man in the projects and we both got very cold. So he said, well, let's go to my house. It just so happened to be her brother, Billy Ray. We went to her house and that was the first time I met her. That was in 1953.
He stayed and stayed. My brother got warm, he got warm. My brother left, he stayed.
She was beautiful back then, and still is.
I was at college and professor said that his niece was coming to school the next semester. And look out for her, she's very nice. So I did.
So right away, we just seemed to be so right for each other. I liked the qualities that I found in him almost immediately about meeting him.
Well, we met in college. We were both freshmen and we played in the band, and I saw this very beautiful young lady with long, dark, flowing hair and a beautiful smile playing the clarinet. And I thought, you know, I've got to get to know her. I said to myself, you know, do I really want to do this? I said, I could just take off running down the alley, but no. I went in and we said our IDs.
Wonderful day. The only bad thing about it is the photographer, his pictures didn't come out. Not one picture came out. So we had to go to the studio and just take pictures in the studio.
I was nervous, I remember that. And the church was so warm. I was sweating, I recall that too. But it all worked out.
And my sister-in-law, I remember her saying to me, she said, you couldn't wipe that smile off your face. You just radiated with happiness.
We had a flood in Hays, Kansas, which was rather unusual. Well, his parents, I guess, came into town on a half-track or something like that.
Yeah, we couldn't even get out of town. We stayed in a motel there in Hays, Kansas that night. This is what I'm waiting to hear. What's your answer, Elvira? She's always reminding me to comb my hair.
Well, it looks good.
That sounds like a woman, doesn't it?
I don't always do things right. She lets me know sometimes, but there's never been an argument.
He wouldn't let me teach him to cook. He can't cook a lick.
I was more expressive than he is, so I think sometimes I wish that he would have been a little more expressive, probably.
I think over the years, if she was high-strung then, she's really settled down.
Have lots of love and lots of respect for each other, and
I agree.
To be willing to forget some of those things that need to be forgotten. Every night when we go to bed, we rub each other's back after a little smooch time.
I can't remember any arguments or fights that we ever had. He's got a really, really even temper and shows his love very, very well.
Love you.
That was beautiful. I think we all just learned something about everlasting love. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Hey, welcome back to Beauty Blast, guys. I'm Jeray for the Slay, and while we're here, let's go ahead and pull up those search bars, type in J-A-R-A-Y for the Slay, all one word, my friends, on all your social media platforms so we can be friends. Back to business. Welcome back to Beauty Blast, guys. Today, we're talking about some red light beauty tips and some of my favorite ways to save some time while you're getting ready. Today, though, I want to talk about traveling with your beauty tips. Now, when you're traveling with your beauty products, it's important not to overpack. Now, I know anything could happen while you're on vacation, whether you're at the beach, in the mountains, whatever you may. You want to make sure that you have everything that you need, but you don't need to overpack. So that's why I went ahead and made a little list for us so that we all know the expectation and that we're not just carrying a toolkit around with us, okay? Now, number one, you want to bring the eye essentials. So some of my eye essentials are going to be a mascara. Full size or travel size is okay. If you need a travel size, check your local Sephora or even ask at a counter if there might be a sample size that you can try out before your actual vacation, okay? So you can do a travel size mascara. You can do a little bit of an eyeliner. I prefer to do a pencil liner when I'm traveling just because it's going to help to make sure that you have more flexibility with your looks. Now, another thing that I would recommend for eyes is one eyeshadow stick. Choose one and just make it neutral. So this way you can kind of be more flexible with your looks, whether it be more of a bronze, a blush color, or cream. You can kind of have a little bit more diversity with your looks by using a blush or bronzer, which we'll get to next. Now, another thing that you can do is get an all-in-one blush, bronzer, and highlight palette. These guys are great to make sure that you're all ready to go for any look. And last but not least, don't forget a tinted moisturizer. It has your SPF and your hydration. So guys, let me know if these beauty tips worked for your travel, and go ahead and write me in at @JeRayForTheSlay on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I'm sure we'll connect soon. We'll see you guys next time.
Roughly 59 million Americans currently use dating apps, and they're not just sticking to one. All those people have profiles on an average of 2.4 dating services. Speaking of dating apps, the 21st century search for love involves a lot of swiping. Popular dating app Tinder sees a 20% increase in people searching online for someone they'd like to meet IRL, or in real life. It's not just on Valentine's Day. Profiles on Match.com increased by 20% in the week after Valentine's Day, and more than 1 million Facebook users changed their status within 4 days. One reason for all of the changes: marriage proposals on the day all about love. 9 million people are expected to pop the question amid all of the roses and chocolates. No matter if you think it's cliche or cute, 48% of people say Valentine's Day proposals are romantic. Sharing the love and connecting the dots, I'm Phil Anaya.
Today's Sandals word of the day is waves.
I was so close. I said salt, but it was waves. All right, welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, and we got a cute one from Marquita Baker. She writes, all these couples are so adorable. We had a great time looking at that, but also she said, OMG Marva, one of the couples, that was my late mother's name.
Oh,
and I love that. I love seeing connections through names. Like if I see an Evelyn, I'm like, oh, she's here.
And love is in the air. It's just so nice. It's
lovely.
Sweet today. I'm feeling all the vibes.
What are you going to do with Colin tonight?
Well, I have my 2 friends in town, so we're all going to hang out as a Gallon and Galentines. Did you
say Galentines?
Galentines, everybody.
What are you up to, Mr. Love?
I'm flying to New York. My Valentine's Day is going to be tomorrow.
Okay, that's fair.
With who?
We don't have time.
Oh, cliffhanger. We'll see you Monday. Same time, same place. Bye, guys.